In this demonstration of Combustion 4, we'll look at a couple of the new features, one of them being a new keyer, the Diamond keyer, and the other one being Capsules. First off, we've got some footage here in front of a green screen, and behind that we have some footage of a zoo with some paint effects created in Combustion. So let's start creating transparency by first creating a garbage mask. So that's easy enough. I select that layer, we go over to our masking controls and apply a mask operator. Coming over to the masking tools, you can see we have a variety of different masking tools, from a draw shape tool to rectangles, ellipticals, free polygons, and of course the new B-splines. So I'll just create a loose mask around the talent to eliminate the garbage on the outside. Now I'll select the layer, go to the operators, and I'm going to first apply a Discrete Keyer. When I do so, you'll notice that the Discrete Keyer has several different modules that I can use to create the key. We have the key controls for our tolerance and our softness. We also have matte controls, we have our curves, and we have our color controls, all built in to the Discrete Keyer. Let me select that Discrete Keyer and I will delete it. I'll select the layer once again, and this time I'll go to my keyers, but I'll apply this new keyer called the Diamond keyer. The Diamond keyer is built off the color warper from our system's Flame, Flint, and Inferno. If I want to plot the color that I want to key out, I can very easily get the plot color, hold down my Control or my Command key on the Mac, a sample an area of the green screen. You'll now notice a point marker indicating exactly where the color is. Now I can get my tolerance picker and do the same thing, hold down the Control key, and very easily pick out the colors that I want to key out. Over at the color warper area, I can zoom in and pan around to view the controls that are available to me. Inside, I have one triangle for the tolerance. On the outside, I also have control for the softness and what pixels are going to be added. Along the bottom, I have sliders for the tolerance and also for the softness also. Now in this case, I'd like to go to a 2-viewport layout and focus the keyer in one viewport by double-clicking on it and holding down some control keys. I want to view the alpha channel that is being created. Now looking at the alpha channel, I can see that I have some issues as far as my softness and tolerance. So I can very easily start to make adjustments to this to fine-tune my key. I can use the Add Tolerance picker and the Minus Tolerance picker. I can also use the Add Softness or Minus Softness picker to adjust the key. Once I'm happy with this level, if I go back to look at the color, you can see the color spill we still have along the edge of the hair. Notice that the Diamond keyer does not have multiple modules such as color suppression and matte controls. In this workflow, we add each operator of the keyer independently as needed. So if I add a color suppression operator on top of that, I now could come in and use the color suppression tools just like I would normally inside the Discrete Keyer, but this time it's being added to my pipeline of my Diamond keyer. Now that I've set up the hue shift information, I can very easily come in here and I can start to use the hue shift controls and the suppression controls to control my color spill. Now let's go to the schematic view for a moment and notice that we have two nodes for the two keyers that I just applied, the Diamond keyer and the color suppression. New in Combustion 4 is something called Capsules, which allows me to repurpose, reuse, and control a series of operators very easily. If I select both of these operators in the schematic view, right-click on them, I can now choose Encapsulate. When I do so, a capsule is created that contains both of those operators. You'll notice in the Workspace panel, I now have a capsule operator below the layer. When I select the capsule, you'll see that my control panels change to my capsule controls. If I want to edit the operators within the capsule, I can very easily right-click on that capsule and edit that group. Then we can see here's our color suppression and here's the Diamond keyer. We always have access to both of them. I can exit out of that edit mode by just double-clicking on an out node. And double-clicking on my capsule brings me back to my capsule controls again. You'll notice on my control panel I have no controls right now. But if I go to the controllers, you'll see along the right-hand side, here are all the channels that I can access for controls of each operator, whether it's the color suppression or the Diamon keyer. If I want to add a control slider to control just the sharpness of the keyer, I can select that and then click Clone Link. And you'll notice over here in my controls, a new control has been added. I can easily rename this if I want by naming Key Sharpness, hitting the Enter key, and when I go back to my control panel, you'll notice now I have a slider to adjust and control that parameter. You can add more operators to an existing capsule, such as right-clicking by choosing the Edit Group Node option. I then go back into the capsule where I can right-click and add another operator, such as an Add Noise. You'll notice that it is added along in the pipeline. If we double-click on the Add Noise, you can see we have an Amount slider and a Seed slider that we can keyframe and adjust. Going back out of that, I can select the capsule once again, go to the controllers. Notice now my Add Noise has been added to the possible parameters I can add as controls. So if I select the amount again and click Clone Link, it is now added to my controls. I can select that and easily rename that and say Noise Amount. Then we go back to the control panel. I can very easily adjust the noise amount with one slider. Another great thing about the capsules is the fact that at the input level, I can come into my notepad and I can enter text to explain what is the procedure or the purpose of this capsule. So I can include notes, instructions, or explanations of the operators. And when I go back to the control panel, you'll notice in the information section where you will access your controls, you will see those notes available to any person who's going to be using this capsule. If I want to repurpose this capsule, I can right-click on it at any time and choose Save Capsule. Now I can go out to my drive, name it anything I want, bring it in, and then I can always go out to my operators, choose Capsule, Browse, and load any capsule that I've already created. So a couple great new features inside of Combustion 4. The Diamon keyer, another powerful tool available to this Combustion user inherited from technology from Flame Flint Inferno. And Capsules, which allows the Combustion user to repurpose and reuse a series of operators for multiple jobs